Good morning and happy Hispanic Heritage Month to you again, Mr. Carranza.
And happy Hispanic Heritage Month to you, Ms. Valentine. We're almost at the end of our journey.
This week, we also commemorated Indigenous Peoples Day. I can't think of a better time to celebrate the contributions of the countless Indigenous peoples of the Americas and remember the victims of the injustices and genocide of the past decades and centuries.
It is really a time to reflect and demand change in this country. We are glad to be in a school that celebrates this day and also has teachers and students that can take part in these important discussions.
Indigenous people have a central role in our next region of Latin America. Today, we will explore South America and how we ended up with a rich South American culture right here in New York City. South American countries of Hispanic heritage include Venezuela, Peru, Bolivia, Argentina, Chile, Ecuador, Colombia, Uruguay, and Paraguay.
That's right. Since we talk about the first people that ever lived in this continent, we should talk about the indigenous groups from South America as well. The Arawak, Guarani, Quechua, and Mapuche people are just a fraction of the 45 million indigenous people in Latin America, not even counting people who have indigenous roots.
Just like in the Caribbean and Central America, South America experienced a long and painful process of colonization. Spanish occupation ended around 200 years ago, and you can actually visit statues commemorating their independence in Central Park by 83rd Street and 5th Avenue.
We should also mention that even before there were South American countries, and even before the United States came to be, there were already free towns in South America. The so-called first free town in the continent is San Basilio de Palenque, where in 1691 it became the first free African town in the Americas. That is almost 100 years before the U.S. independence.
South American groups, like Cumbia Pasillo from Ecuador, Andean music from Peru and Bolivia, and Tango from Argentina. So, how did we end up with this rich South American culture in New York?
Migration from South America is not as big as the one from Central America and the Caribbean we covered the past weeks. But the reasons might sound familiar. Resources and people looking for a better life is one of the main reasons why we have migrants from South America. However, in the last 30 years, another group of migrants have been rising in numbers. Refugees, people who flee because of violence and persecution because of their identity. Countries like Colombia, which has the largest group of South American migrants in the U.S., have dealt with a civil war for over 70 years, which has caused a lot of its citizens to flee to different countries.
Wow, it's really great to live in a city that welcomes migrants of all sorts and gives them another chance to start a new life. In the process, the diversity in different enclaves like Jackson Heights increases, and we get to experience a little bit of their culture.
I agree. I think we cover every single region of Latin America, right? Doesn't mean that this is goodbye?
Not yet. We still have to close out with not a region, but a group of people that is well represented in our school and city. At BAM, when we celebrate a certain region or culture, we don't want to miss anyone.
Then we'll talk to you the next time. See ya.
Bye.